Hey everyone, this is Joe with Southeastern Frontiers, and today Jonathan and I are backpacking in the Sipsey wilderness, doing an entirely off-trail loop in the extreme northwest corner of the park, of the wilderness. So come along, it's an adventure.
In this video, Jonathan and I go on an entirely off-trail explore, an overnight backpacking trip in the Sipsey wilderness of northwest Alabama. We started at the Gum Pond parking area in the far north of the wilderness and struck out through the trees to the southwest in search of the Lick Branch Falls. We quickly located the location of the falls, though with extreme drought that we've been experiencing, it was completely dry. We then picked our way down the Lick Branch, sometimes following hints of a trail and sometimes just walking down the stream bed. Finally, we came to the intersection with the much larger but still dry Thompson Creek. From here, we found a more distinct path and followed that along sandstone cliffs until we found an old cooler full of equally old beer cans and close by a very large rock shelter overhang, and we decided to camp just outside the entrance. The next day, we hiked upstream along the Thompson Creek through clear sign of old trails and even old roads until we reached the confluence with the Maddox Creek. Here we refilled our water bottles from a small pool and explored a bit before we headed up the old road to the top of the plateau. There were a lot of down trees along this incline, which made it going much slower than we expected. Finally, we hiked along the top of the plateau to the Gum Pond Cemetery and then back to the starting point at the Gum Pond parking area. The weather and stunning fall colors were beautiful, and this was a great opportunity to explore some new areas of the Sipsey wilderness.
We are at Gum Pond, the parking area at Gum Pond. This is actually listed on Google Maps as the Brazil Creek Trailhead, but to me, in my head, it's the Gum Pond Trailhead, because this is Gum Pond. So anyway, and there's actually a little pond back there, although it's more of a swamp now than a pond. And the Gum Pond Cemetery is just up the road a little bit. But this is the trailhead, and this is where we're going to start off. I think there's a little marker just down the trail a little bit here. Here's the National Forest marker sign for this trailhead. High fire danger. It has been dry. We've had a drought this fall, drier than usual. And so we're gonna have to be careful with fire. The creeks are gonna probably be dry. For today's hiking adventure, we are going entirely off trail. So even though we're at the Gum Pond area and the trail heads down here, we are immediately at the sign here going to strike off to the southwest and see if we can find our way into a creek canyon back here. So off we go. We've descended downhill a little bit and picked up the creek we're going to follow down into a canyon. Oh, look at this. There's an old logging road. It is the end of October, and the leaves have turned yellow and are falling. So it's a beautiful time of year to be doing this. Not too hot and not too cold yet. Following the dry creek bed downstream here through a grassy space under the trees here. It's not too bad, just gotta watch out for random holes hidden in the grass. Well, we have come to the edge of a giant cliff. And I'm guessing there's a nice waterfall right there sometimes when the water's running. Right now it's dry, but I bet this is the Lick Creek Falls. We're gonna see if we can find a way down to the bottom of the cliffs. Well, I just came down from up there. Now Jonathan's trying it. Just sit down and slide under it. Like that. All right, we have scrambled back down to Lick Creek in the bottom of the canyon. And that's where the falls would be if the water were running. Gonna have to come back here in the spring somehow, except we gotta find a better way down off that cliff. Whew. Yeah, maybe off the other side would have been better, John. Hard to say.
Maybe.
All right, let's see if we can get a little closer. We have reached the base of Lick Falls. If there were water here. There's still some dripping. And I will say it is pleasantly cool from all the evaporating water here. It's like in a cave almost. You can hear the water dripping. So we're cooling off a bit. After cooling off there where Lick Falls is, we are continuing down the Lick Creek. Let's see what we can find. Ooh, breeze, that feels nice. This is why it's called fall. All the leaves falling. It's like rain. Well, this is quite the undercut. Full of water here. Let's see if I can wade across without getting too wet. Yeah, I took the tree with me. We noticed we descended below the sandstone into limestone. Very different. Big spider. Just went into the water there. Ah, that's a big one. Look at that.
Can swim too.
We have arrived at Thompson Creek. No water flowing here either. There are some pools though. All right. Well, that's the upstream direction. So I guess we want to go downstream. There should be some sort of kind of trails near here. People do pass through here once in a while. We'll keep an eye out for that. Well, John and I have found a bit of a trail. Kind of hard to see, but it's here on the west side of the Thompson Creek here. Found a big rock overhang here. It's too wet to camp under though. Whew. It's nice and cool though. Big cliffs here. And an old cooler. Look at that. Complete with beer cans. Wow. Huh. Look at that. Big rock overhang. Lots of giant fallen boulders. Huh. Well, this is as far back as you can go in the overhang. Pretty cool. Exploring the overhang here, I found a piece of petrified wood sticking out right there. I wondered if the other part of it was down on the floor somewhere. And there are more bits that are a little harder to see, but you can see them on that rock there and down there. And here's one right here. I noticed a big piece of petrified wood in the sandstone wall here. We have figured out where we're going to camp for tonight. We're going to stay here by this big rock overhang. I found a small spot here for my tent, and Jonathan brought his hammock, so he can camp pretty much anywhere out in the forest. So he's good. He's right there. So there we are. Starting to steam. All right, Jonathan tonight is having grilled chicken with spinach Alfredo pasta, which is what I had the last time I was camping with Jacob. And I am tonight having Jacob's chicken pesto pasta that he always has. So, yes, since Jacob's not along tonight, I get to eat his pasta. Jacob would be proud of me. I managed to get a fire all by myself. At least so far. So it has now gotten pretty dark. It is, the end of October, and the sun sets at 6 p.m. And I don't even know what time it is now. Do you know, John?
6:39.
6:39. So we have the fire to give us some light. Mostly it's pretty warm. We don't need a fire for warmth or anything. But it's nice for the light, because otherwise it's pretty darn dark. Well, the fire has died down, but it's only 7:15. I can't go to bed yet. Guess we're going to have to put more wood on the fire. Good morning. It is day 2 on our Sipsey Wilderness off-trail backpacking trip. All right, breakfast this morning is oatmeal, maple and brown sugar, and of course my my mix of hot chocolate with Alpine Start coffee. All right, the water is boiling. It is time to make the coffee. All right, time to make the oatmeal. There you go. So the instructions say not to make it in the bag, the oatmeal, but we make it in the bag. Stir that oatmeal up and let it sit for a bit. The sun is just starting to creep down into our rock shelter here. So it's time for us to get going before it gets too hot for the day. All right, we are all packed up and ready to go. We are going to hit the trail and head upstream on the Thompson Creek for a while. So still a little bit of bushwhacking. I think there might be a faint trail along here, but it could be hard to follow. So off we go. Past the old cooler. That is very interesting. And down the trail. All right, we've been following a faint trail that has taken us on a shortcut around a bend. So Lick Creek that we came down on yesterday is back there at that corner of the bend. But we've cut across and are now going up Thompson Creek here. Following this faint trail, which has made things go a lot faster than when we were picking our way through the trees before. We have hiked out into the sunlight. There are like parallel paths here that people have made, probably on horseback, to avoid fallen trees. Man, this is like super highway hiking.
Yeah. This is how you make good time. This one's technically,
Wow. I'm guessing this used to be a road. It's so wide.
Yeah, it is suspiciously wide.
Suspiciously wide, yes. That's the word for it. It's a big down tree that reaches all the way across the creek. How about when the water's running, you could just walk right across it. But we're just going over it and continuing on. All right, I know this barrel. John and I have been here before, back when we hiked to the Maddox Motel, which is in this area. We are at the confluence with the Maddox Creek, or near it. And this is where we're gonna go uphill, but first we're gonna fill our water bottles. Hadn't done that yet. So we're gonna go down here to the Maddox Creek and see if we can get some water. A lot less water than we were here last time, isn't there?
Usually go across.
Cool. Well, this is the Maddox Creek. Its confluence with the Thompson Creek is right down there, kind of around the corner. And the fall leaves are falling. People have scratched their names into these beech trees here. I'm looking to see if there are any of them that are old. Sometimes you can find in these major junctions on the beech trees, you can find really old carvings. I haven't found any yet. These beech trees are too young. This is the confluence of the Thompson Creek coming in here from the right and the Maddox Creek coming in here from the left. And there's a sign here. Frank Lutz, October 4th, 1911 to December 21st, 2011. Hiker. Well, that's cool. That's pretty cool about Frank Lutz there. That's nice. Nice memorial. Wonder who he was. I'm guessing this is an old road here. It's heading down to the crossing of Maddox Creek. A lot of trees down in front of me. I have to dodge around them. I took a little side trip while Jonathan was filtering water. All right, eating some honey stingers here before we climb up the mountain to the top. That way. All right, back up to this old piece of barrel, and then we make a left turn and go uphill. We get to the old road here. Go around the down tree. And start going uphill. There are so many down trees since John and I did this trail back in January. John was just saying, man, might as well just be off trail. It's challenging. So what we thought was going to be an easy road to walk, it's turning out to be really challenging. A spider weaving her web here. Scared her. She stopped. Putting the sticky threads across your scaffolding. We are nearing the top of the plateau. Yay! And the trail levels out. All right, those posts mean that we have come to the Gum Pond Cemetery, which is right here. So this is a reminder that there used to be communities up here in the mountains here, in what's now the Sipsey Wilderness. There was here at Gum Pond, there was a church and a number of settlers with their farms on the hills up here on the plateau. All right, here's where we make a hard right turn to go from the Gum Pond Cemetery Road to the Gum Pond Road. All right, we are almost back to the Gum Pond parking area, or as Google calls it, the Brazil Creek Trailhead. I don't know, I have trouble with that. Anyway, we're almost back to the parking area. Thanks for coming along with us on this beautiful fall trip with all the leaves. It's been gorgeous, the weather's been perfect. So thanks for coming along and catch you next time. There are more cars here than when we arrived. So other people have shown up.